Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Mike, your boy Mr. Chow here, coming at you with another video. In this video I'm going to discuss and talk about a crazy experience I had while urban exploring at Mansfield Training School and Hospital, which is over in the Stores area of Connecticut, Stores, Connecticut. But yeah, it's in Connecticut. In any case, let's get right to it. So this story takes us back about 2, maybe 3 years ago, I want to say. I'm 23 now, so I think I was 20 or just turning 21 around when this story takes place. So it was me, my boy, and my other boy, so there were 3 of us in total. And we ended up going to Mansfield Training School and Hospital after doing some research about the place. This was, I think, it was my second time to the location itself. I'd been there one time prior to that, but nothing really eventful took place on that first trip. But the second time, shit hit the fan quick. Alright, so we take the drive there, we get there, we park our car, and we start walking around the property, just scoping out the buildings that we could see that we have access to get into that weren't boarded up or sealed off, etc., etc. A lot of the buildings had fences around them, so we finally found a building that had a fence around it that had a hole in it that was cut through, and we could get into and go through that hole in the fence and get into the building itself. So once we found our way through the fence, we found a way to get into the building. There was actually a hole in one of the doors, so we were able to crawl through that and maneuver our way inside the building. This particular time I went urban exploring, I wasn't quite as prepared as I'd like to be, or usually am. I didn't have a high-powered flashlight with me this time, and it was at nighttime that we went, so it was kind of difficult to see inside of the building. But we maneuvered it, we handled it pretty well for considering what flashlights we had with us. We're pretty low-powered flashlights, but we still made the best of it, and when all is said and done. Anyways, so we get inside the building, right, and I went in first, then my other boys went in after me, and we get inside, and we're just standing still in complete darkness until we turn our flashlights on, and things just don't feel right from the start. And you know, it's just mad weird. It's just really weird because the building is so quiet. You could tell that you're the only people in there, hopefully, that you know of. And that's what we thought. We thought we were alone in there. So we go inside, and we're standing there in complete darkness, like I said, till we turn our flashlights on and start scoping the place out. But it's just mad quiet. You could hear a pin drop. So yeah, I want to make note of that. Right in front of us is a long corridor, a long hallway. So instantly I take the lead, and we begin to walk down the hallway. Now off of the hallway there's a bunch of rooms on each side of the hallway that you can go into, and as we're walking down the first hallway in the building that we got into, my boy in the back, not the boy in the middle, but my boy in the way back of the crew says, yo, I just saw something. So I run to his aid and I see what he's looking at. I try to see what he's looking at. I didn't see anything at first. He said he saw a black shadow figure out of the corner of his eye, and when he looked, he saw it manifest into a whole apparition, and then just deteriorate and go away in front of his own eyes, like as if it was never there. He said he saw it off one of the rooms on the hallway that we were in, and so instantly, like I said, I go back and I look, shine my flashlight, I don't see anything. I didn't say I didn't believe him at the time, but I was just a little skeptical. I was like, okay, maybe it was just your mind playing tricks on you. That wasn't the case, though. We continue on, we're going down the hallway. We're getting close to the end of the hallway where we'd either have to make a right or a left-hand turn to go down other hallways in the building. Right before we get to the end of the hallway, though, we hear a loud bang, but just abrasively loud, and it comes from behind us, not in any of the rooms, but directly behind us down the hallway we had just walked down, and we're almost at the end of. We turn around real quick, and instantly I see what he saw earlier. At least that's what I thought it was. Black see-through shadow figure, and this is on everything. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I'm not making this up, guys. This is word on everything. And just as I saw it, instantly it disappeared just as quickly as I'd seen it. It was there for maybe 2 seconds, and I blinked and it was gone. But I believed him at that point that he had seen something. So at this point, all 3 of us have seen the black shadow figure, and instantly we're just shook. We're like, oh my gosh. And in our heads, and then we verbally speak it out loud, we're like, that was probably what made the noise, that bang noise. So now we're at the end of the hallway, and instead of making a right or a left-hand turn to go further into the building, we decided to go backtrack, and see what made that noise. So we actually walked towards the black shadow figure, guys. I know it's crazy, but we walked up towards where we saw the black shadow figure, back down at the end of the hallway, and we're walking towards it, right? We're walking towards it. And then out of nowhere, oh my gosh, it still gives me the chills. But out of nowhere, I just got this really cold sensation, this cold feeling all around me, like a cold spot, but a giant cold spot. I felt like it was hovering over my back, and then it just completely surrounded me. And it was colder than it had been just 5 feet back prior to walking down that part of the hallway. It was insanely cold out of nowhere, which blew my mind. And this is about the halfway point back to where we had begun walking down the hallway. So we're still walking, and that's when I felt the cold spot. Then my boys felt it, right when they passed the area where I felt the cold spot. And it followed us for a little bit. It was as if it was just hovering over us, like I said, and just latched onto us out of nowhere. So that really creeped us out a little bit. Still get chills to this day just thinking about it. Ugh. In any case, we don't let that hinder us or stop us. We continue to walk, and now we're getting closer to the other end of the hallway where we originally came into the building and started walking down the hallway. We're getting to that end again, that end point where we had started. Anyways, finally we're about to approach the other side of the hallway. As we're pulling up, as we're walking up to it, my boy that's in the back of our little squad, in the back of the 3 of us, he goes, "Yo, I just heard something." I'm like, "What'd you hear, dude?" And he's like, "I heard a little kid laugh." And I'm like, "Bro, you heard that? I heard the same thing at the same time, everybody. I heard a little kid laugh." Like, ha. I'm not doing it on point, but you get the point. Like, he was laughing. Whatever this was that was making the noise was laughing. It sounded maniacally, like it was creepy as anything. And that's also word on me. I heard it firsthand. And at this point, we're at the end of the hallway. We're back at the other side again. And after hearing that laugh, and then I turned to my right, and I remember it was specifically to my right because I still felt the cold sensation. It was on my right side at that point. I look to my right, and I see at the end of this room, there's this doorway that leads to a staircase, and at the end of the room, at the doorway, standing there is the black shadow figure again. This time, it started at the ground level. I saw this black mist type apparition deal going on, and it manifested into a full-bodied apparition. I wasn't filming. I wish I was filming at the time. I probably would have caught something, at least on camera. We weren't filming. We weren't urban exploring to go make a video at that point in time. We were just there for the experience in general. But back to the story. I saw the black shadow apparition figure standing in a doorway, and instead of just disappearing before my eyes, I saw it move behind the door as if it was going to go down that staircase that was behind the doorway, and it just disappeared at that point finally. But I told my friends, I was like, "Guys, did you see that?" They're like, "No, what did you see?" I was like, "I saw the apparition again." They didn't believe me, but then obviously they did believe me because they had seen it, but they didn't really recognize and condone the fact that I had just seen it yet again with my own 2 eyes. So they were kind of shook, the fact that I had seen it again. At that point, that's our second or third run-in with that apparition shadow figure. And right off the bat, I'm like, "Guys, yeah, you heard me. I saw it. I'm going to go check it out." So I go down there with my low-powered flashlight, walk towards that doorway, get there, and I'm shining my flashlight around. I see nothing. I turn the flashlight off, still see nothing. Obviously, it's dark, but you know what I mean. I turn it off, still see nothing. And that's when I hear the laughing again. I heard the laughing. When I went through the doorway, I'm in the staircase, the stairwell now, and at the bottom of the stairs, it sounds like I hear laughing again but not a regular laugh, not some dark, deep laugh. It was distinctly a little kid laugh. Whether it was coming from a little child's entity or not, I'm not sure. That's up in the air, up for debate. But long story short, I heard the laughing, and my boys heard it too. And my boy in the middle was like, "Yo, did you hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I peeped that. I heard the laughter too." And he was like, "Yo, I heard it as well." And my boy in the back was like, "I also heard it." At that point, we're real shook because that's like our 4th or 5th paranormal encounter within just being in that building for like 10, 15 minutes. At that point, we're like, we're going to get out of here. And then we started feeling that cold spot again. So then we even booked it even further quicker to the door that we came in through, the hole in the door, because we were just getting too shook and too creeped out at that point to continue into the building any further. So we finally make our way out of the building. We were going to explore more buildings on the property during that investigation, that exploration in general, but we didn't. We ended up saying we had enough. After what we had just seen in 15-20 minutes of being there, we really couldn't handle anything else that would be thrown at us if we had potentially went inside another building. So we took that as our opportunity to head back to the car and to head out and to recap on what just happened. To the car, when we're at the car, my boy, we're going to start driving home. He was driving, and I'm looking through my phone, just looking at some pictures I took briefly while we were inside the building briefly. And I catch this one picture that was looking at the same door that I had just seen that black shadow figure apparition at. And it wasn't the apparition that I saw in a picture. It was an orb, but a clear, huge, it wasn't a small orb, it was a big orb that was like a neon green, light blue type color. It wasn't dust. I was too far away from my camera to pick up a dust particle. It wasn't dust on everything. It was not an apparition, I'm sorry. It was an orb. And that orb, I think, is what manipulated itself into that black apparition shadow figure right after I took the snapshot of the picture, and then left down the stairwell. I think that was what that entity was, and it was just first being caught on camera as the orb. That's what I caught on camera. And at that point, I showed my boys the picture, and they were shook. They're like, "Wow, that's crazy! You caught that." I've since lost the picture, unfortunately, else I would have included it in this video. But that's beside the point. Definitely caught a picture, not making it up. Word on everything. So yeah, that's basically our adventure that we had on that day, and what happened. But when all is said and done, it was a crazy experience that I had. Really was. All three of us that we had, and it's one for the books. Definitely won't forget that anytime soon. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like down below. I feel like as quickly as this video started, it's ending. Yeah, that's the end of the story. In any case, yeah, if you like this video, drop a like down below. If you've been to Mansfield Training School and Hospital in Connecticut, drop a comment down below. Let me know about your experience personally. Or if you've been to any other cool abandoned locations that you've had paranormal activity happen to y'all, let me know in the description, in the comments down below. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button for more, everybody. Lots more content that's coming out in the near future, so that's something to look forward to as well. So yeah, you know what time it is. Stay tuned for more coming out soon. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, cheers and chow. Until next time, peace, be easy, catch y'all soon.